so before I proceed, I think some of the people must have joined. Any new one? No. So I'll start the recording from here as in on YouTube. So this is the second session for building the ToDo CLI app that we are working upon. I've added a little bit of code. I have already created a Git repository and I have committed to it. You can find it in under where it go? The browser. You can find it here. github.com/declare/go to CLI, and today I'll commit in the end as well. So we had already done the work till creating a to-do, creating a validation function, encoding and decoding it from a JSON file, JSON format. So today we have to basically add uh, these to-dos to a file, and I've just created a todos.json over here where I plan to save everything. So this file here, input, we are having a read at to-do, and this is the one that is basically going to, right now it's not returning anything, but it should return to-do type, a struct, filled with whatever input was given by the user, and then we'll use that to save it. All right. So here we had the problem that it was accepting one the new line also that was being captured, and right now I'm trying to get rid of it. So I hope this time it will not accept. Test. And this time you can see the new line was not captured, so this is going to work. Strings dot trim. I'm going to say /n, which will trim it from the other side. Oh, sorry, I am supposed to do a strings on the string. Okay, now run it. So the title, I'm just going to say buy milk. The description, nothing, and we are getting this. And right now the time is 19:04, which matches my local time over here. So I think this is fine. And instead of having a p.print, we should actually return a new tool, right? And I would say just turn this thing, and this is done. Now we need to loop over it. So it's better to create a small menu. Let's create that. Func read to-dos in loop. Okay. And this time I'm going to say d.printf. Let's say please choose an option. Okay. d.printf. I'm going to say 1, create a new to-do. Okay, I think this is not required. And let's say 0 would be exit the app. Exit the loop, just like this. And then let's say and your choice. This is not required. I think called scanf does something. Scanf would be what, percentage s, and I should have a variable. Okay, input, and I need to store it on var input string. Okay, and scanf has some return and int and error. Okay, so let's give it a value. Int, I don't care about how many characters it has read, care about the error. Okay, and if error is not equal to nil, then we are going to print. So from t.printf, and I'm going to introduce you to something that I call LMID. The people who have been here are familiar with what an LMID is, and I will tell you shortly after I write this. Okay, so just do this /n, and I'm gonna write the error. Lovely. And we'll do it in loop, right? So we know how for loop works, right? So we are going to say for run this, and let's delete it, and if input is equal to 0, then we break, okay, out of the loop. And at least in over here, if you click break, it tells you which loop is gonna get broken. So it's here. Even if you have nested one, it will tell you which one is going to get broken. Right. I do believe this is going to have the new line as well. Not sure. Let's see. And we need to do this. One minute. Else if input is equal to 1, then we are going to do read ToDo, and the result is going to return something, right? So we are going to store it in a variable called t, and we are going to print t over here instead of printing in that previous function. Okay, and if someone entered something else, then we say fmt.println you selected an invalid option, try again. Okay, and we don't do anything, so we'll just print it again. Let's try to use this over here. All right, just check. Okay, create a new ToDo. Let's first try exit. Okay, sorry, exit is working. Let's try again. I'm going to say 1, enter the title, new ToDo, some description, and it printed as it should. I'm going to say 1 again, and another ToDo, and another description, and it printed that. And now I'm going to exit the loop. So our loop is working. Alright, good enough. Now where do we store this? We should basically be creating an array or a slice as we do in Golang, and then we should store it there, right? So let's create a slice. Let's create a slice over here. Or maybe we can return a slice. So we are going to return a slice of ToDos. Okay. say var todos is a slice of todo, and it will error out. So we can do this. Make this much, okay, and we should add these to-dos to use your append. Now this append assign is basically what you're seeing over here. This thing is goodie provided by Golang. It might not come up in VS Code. So okay, I'll just say to is equal to append to-dos, the T that we just got here. Okay, and we're gonna return tools, and I love auto formatting. All right, and good enough. We should maybe move this, go to main, and when we are doing this is supposed to return a slice, right? So I'll say to use over here, okay, and for underscore comma t range over todos. I'm just gonna, oh sorry, I should be saying t not r. We're going to say t dot print, and then I'm going to say from t dot printf just okay. 4 hashes are good. Looks like that. Now let's run. Running into your choice. To-do under the title. I'm going to say title 1, description 1. I want to create one more. I'm going to say title 2, and this time no description. Create one more, say to-do 3 and best 3, and this is the last to-do. I'm going to look in here and say okay, enter. And do we have it? Okay, so we have our title 1, description 1, title 2, no description, title 2, 3, description 3, last 2, no description. So this is working, right? Now what we need to do is save it to a file. So instead of printing, and this is just a function that helps you visualize what is happening, so we'll leave it here for now. So we have the to-do list, and we need to now we need to convert it to JSON and save it, right? So let's create a file and save it there. Let me copy paste the code that I had created before, and so where is the file? Copy path reference, absolute path, and this is the one. Okay, so I need to move this and paste, and just copy that. Okay, sorry, JSON file. So now the code to write the file is this one. You're gonna say, yeah, good enough. Instead of having str, I'll say todo JSON. Okay. Actually, todo JSON string is already there, so todo JSON contents. Fine. So let's convert it to JSON now. Let's, oops, sorry, not this. Let's convert the list of todos to JSON. How will we do that? We'll use JSON.marshal, right? And we are going to use tools, right? And handle error. So these are todo JSON bytes. Okay. If error is not equal to nil, I will print and then return empty.printf some error when encoding, right? Error when marshalling to JSON, and we'll say error, okay, and return. Otherwise, we proceed and we'll say todo JSON contents. I think we have todo JSON contents over here, yeah. And this is basically a string version of todo JSON bytes, all right, and this is where the file is. We should be able to, so what this does is it opens a file, and the options are, if it doesn't exist, create it, and we want to read write mode of open, and we are going to append to it instead of writing over it. So we can remove this, and I say O underscore write. We have write only, good. And when opening file, for closing the file, we have written the string to the file. Error when, this should be error writing the file, wrote to the contents to file. Okay, now let's create a couple of to-dos and see if we can save it. Create to something better. Buy milk. Description: don't buy packaged milk. Okay, create a new to-do, and I'm going to say buy potatoes. Red ones are better. Literally, I sometimes have to write these things when I go out and buy something. So just comes naturally. Okay. When writing to file, invalid argument. What does it say? File something. An invalid argument. What is that? So printed error when opening file. Invalid argument error. What happened? File open. I'm writing to, okay, this one is error writing to file. It says invalid argument. So is it the mode? I can maybe do this a little bit earlier so that I now know what the problem is. Before we do anything else, let's try to open the file. It will help us debug. I don't know if this file has got permissions or not. So open in Finder, and 1 second. We got todos.json that has the file. Invalid argument. JSON. Why would it not open? Anyone has got any hint why it might be happening? Non-printable characters in your file name. Really? Do I? Yes. I don't see why it would happen. Let's try to type it out. Users and partial slash code slash techrail slash todo slash todos.json. That should not have any invalid argument. Why? Okay, what else is the reason? Some people are saying indicate that when left in the similar mothership. Okay. So is it because of any of these? Maybe since I'm saying write only and read write, maybe that is why. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I was being an idiot. It is because I entered no choice. Okay, let's try again. Isn't providing answer with wrong, right? Oh, he said the same thing. Ardwaj. Okay, create a new to-do. So create by milk, the description, don't buy packaged. I thought I had removed one, but okay, fine, no problem. These things are part and parcel. Let's say buy potatoes and red ones are better. And I say, okay, exit, go to do contents to file. And we have this. I think all I need to do is, sorry, What do I need to press to confirm? Yeah. So this, instead of getting this as just Marshall, I think we can do Marshall indent. Okay, indent, and prefix string I think is blank, and the indent string is 4. We can give that, and if I run it, okay, we'll do it again. So todos.json, we already have it, right? So we have done one part of it, and I think it is good enough. Uh, Next, we should try to load the file and see whether or not we are able to get these values in the program now. So let's modify it, and right when the program starts, we can read the file. Okay, how about we also do reading and editing, but we can't exactly edit it. Okay, can you guys tell me why editing this file would be a little difficult with our program? Anyone here? Scanf takes in the first word as input the line. Yeah. And read string takes the string till here. Like this is the breaking word due to JSON array. Um, kind of, but why? I mean, why can't I just load it and say, okay, I'm gonna edit this, and I'm gonna also edit this or something, and it's easy, right? How is it difficult? Okay, I'll tell you. I don't think anyone's ready to answer. We don't have an ID. So all you're going to depend upon is the ordering here. So if I literally have buy milk here, sorry, say milk here, and maybe this one was created on a different date, right? Or a different time. Maybe this was like on in the morning. Okay, and let's say this. Okay, and we save it. Now, when you want to edit something, a to-do, you probably don't want to write the entire stuff about it. That okay, this is a to-do which says buy milk, and this one's description is don't buy packaged one. It was created at this time. So you don't want to make that menu, or even if you're doing a UI, you don't want to make it very descriptive, and you just want to say, okay, this is the to-do that was created first, this is the second, third. So that is one way of doing it. The other is, which I believe would be useful, is instead of having the title just here, uh, we can give it an ID, an internal ID, or uh, because that would be useful when we convert this to uh, the database thing. When we use the data store as, SQLite as data store, it will be useful. So if you're on CLI and you want to keep it simple, just using this is going to be a little bit uh, problematic. So should we introduce IDs? No? Yes? What? Nobody's saying anything. Okay. Instead of introducing IDs now, we can do it later. And get this typing. Let's rely on the ordering for now. Okay. So how do I read a file? I don't exactly know how to read the file. we are writing a string f dot, I don't know, read at byte. Google colon read from file read. So by example, okay, let me move it here. Maybe it says we can just read like that. Really? We can have f and read e1, okay, into a byte string, which I don't like. F seek and read b2. What is b2? Again, bytes, bytes, bytes. I think I'll use this. Okay. Read for. So, and let's see if my reader is going to work. In fact, here, let me do a return over here so that you just get to know. Okay, paste. Okay. This. See, read file, is it going to give me bytes? Yes. And am I doing an indent later on? Yes. Fine enough. Let me try to read it. Yes, it's reading. Right? So, good enough. We can use this for now. And say we have to unmarshal it now. So we have existing tools, and those are an array of tools, and we have to do a JSON dot unmarshal, and those are bytes, so that and comma, this should be what bn, so it should be 100% existing tools, right? And this should be returning an error from what I remember. If is not equal to nil, then we are going to say empty dot printf n fatal error when reading file v and over here. Okay, sorry, this is being redefined. Done. And let me get rid of these. So let's create a new directory tmp. I'm just going to place old main contents.go. I'm going to use this, and let's take this and remove it. Just place it here. Yeah. And did you see it just figured out everything, like what is where, and it just wrote the import section? That's what a good ID does. I think the Visual Studio Code one also does it, but not sure. Okay, so once we have it, where we go here, right? We should be able to print all the views. Let's do this, and let's just see whether or not we are able to print it. So um, read the contents of the existing file and try to cast it in a slice of todos. I have a mosquito. And print them. So todos over here, we need to do existing todo, right? Range existing todos. Okay. Also, did you notice I don't have any error over here? Although I am doing a T here and here, both the places, I have the T. But since this T is only valid here, just look at the highlight if it is visible. When I highlight this T, this gets highlighted saying that okay, these two are the same thing. And if I highlight this T, this one gets highlighted but not these two, right? So when you declare something in a loop, in this case, its scope is only limited to the block of the loop. It's not going to escape out of it. Alright, so we are going to return from here, just check whether or not it's working. Done. So it does look like it is working, right? We already have this, we need to get rid of it. Run again. Yeah, we have these, right? So we are able to read it, and we now need to loop over existing ones and give more options, right? As in, do you want to edit an existing one? Do you want to create a new one? Do you want to delete an old one, mark something as done, things like that, right? So we are on create. Let's try delete maybe, right? Or let's do a mark as done. So for that, we need to go to read todos in row. Instead of reading todos in row, we can say, just rename it, call it input row. Okay, and I am going to say input loop. And instead of create a new todo, we are going to select a todo. Because once you select a todo, you can do multiple things with it, like edit it, edit its title, edit its description, something like that. You can mark it as done. So multiple things can be done. So let's select a todo over here, and if input and if you can say else if input is equal to 2, then we should be printing this, right? So which todo to select? Select a new todo. So we should be printing the list of todos and ask the user to select one, right? We need to pass the to-dos first here. Existing to-dos. Okay, it can be blank, it can be not blank, doesn't matter. We're going to print. But before we do that, let's go back here, and instead of saying print, we can just say print ID and title. So func, we're going to say todo star todo and print ID and title, right? And we're going to just say d dot printf and percentage v backslash n, percentage v colon percentage v, and I am going to, okay, there is no ID over here right now. Okay, we'll just supply the ID. I will do the ID thing later on. ID is in. For now, it will just be the position in the array. We'll do the ID thing later. And I'll say ID and to-do dot title. Okay, that should be good enough. Print ID and title. So back, and here I'm going to say for, so something true on the range of existing to-dos, right? Do a t dot print ID and title, and ID will be, okay, let's do the I over here and I plus 1 over here. Done. And we can now say t dot printf m. Please enter ID of to select it. Okay. Go to my info, input loop, and we are going to put existing to-dos. Okay, let's see if we have got something over here. Okay, we have a selector, new to-do. Please enter the ID. Why did that happen? Sorry. So oh, okay, I need to read it. Sorry. And I have not done the reading, right? So let me read this now. We can do a var input string, we can use input itself. Oh, I can just use this. What this, I can get a new one. Do a 0 and read on it. Select. It didn't print anything. ID and title. Okay, did we just erase everything? No, we created an error. And why did that happen? I'm not sure. Save it. Control C. This. Okay. 2. Buy milk, buying, see, it becomes difficult. So this is the old one. Let's retry. Select buy milk, buy potatoes. So if I press 2, will anything happen? I don't think I've written the code to actually do something without it, with it. So at this point of time, what we need to do is present a single to-dos action items. So let's do it. Func single to-do actions. Okay. And we should give it but we have to pass the to-do. So to-do, I'm going to call it to-do over here. And I'm going to say fmt.def we have selected the to-do is title. We have selected just do this and say to-do dot title. Okay. And say F1 mark as done. Okay. Edit title. Okay. And that should be it. For now, this is fine enough. Right. F please select the option where input string, so input is fine enough, and we can say t dot scanf. I am going to this is fine. Some input if is not equal to nil, something has gone wrong, and you can say d dot just say log dot fatal error you can say fatal r is fine. Fatal ln is this basically kills the entire app if something goes wrong, so we should be cautious with this log fatal ln. Okay, and it should be returning let's say a string, an input. Okay, we can say okay, let's return the string for now. Ideal would have been to return an integer or an enumerated value of actions. So okay, string is fine for now. Return whatever the input was, right? And let's do this. With here, right? actions for existing tools of import this one, but input is string. So let's first convert it to, or we can have D, and instead of having an input, we'll say option, say single to do action. Okay, and we actually have a var single to do action, and we'll give it an int. Okay, and we can, sorry, this is not the action, this is the to-do number, selected to-do number, selected to-do number. And since we had added one here, whatever the user selected, that is like among, like it should be 1 and 2, but the user selected, but we have to work on in the index, in the slice will be the index, and it will be one less. So one we can do here is selected to do number -1. That should be fine enough, and it should give you a string. All right. So option user option, that's fine. We'll give a better name. You must have heard of the sentence somewhere that naming things and invalidation of cache are the two hardest problems of computer science. So I'm feeling that problem now. Like, what should I call this? Like, this selected to number, I've got an input. I mean, this is also technically input. This is also technically input that I got from here. So anyway, let's name it option, and if option is, we can switch over option now. Switch over option, and we have case of 1, which should be from t dot printf, and I can say u /n. You selected, you want to mark the to-do as done. Okay, to-do be as done. All right, and we are running a little bit of time, out of time, so I'll just finish over here. And to-do, I think we can go here and paste, and say you want to edit the title of the to-do. And for both the cases, I think I have not written the, so the existing to-dos selected. I think we can factor it out, right? So index is basically selected to number -1, and we can do this, say selected to the index, and to the index, right? good enough. And if there is something else, default, we're going to say fpt dot print f valid selection, and we just move on with the next one. So let's try now. Select a to-do. Okay, I'm going to say to buy potatoes. You have selected buy potatoes. Do what do you want to do? Mark as done. Edit the title. I'm going to say to. You want to edit the title to do. Okay, I have to basically do a print something dot title here, right? And I dot title over here. Let's rerun it. Rerun. I think that should be good enough for today. We'll do the editing action later on, a little bit later on in the next session. So select a new to do. I say buy milk this time, and I want to say mark is done. You want to mark, and then we just got the loop again. So we are good enough. Like we have made some good progress with the to-do app today. We have got the basic loop structure going on. We have the JSON file that where we are saving stuff, and I don't know what is happening here. I think I've messed up something. I'll have to fix that, and I'll do that later on. So I hope it is good for today.